I've been trying to make it through, ain't got no time for no break. Daddy told me just keep moving, don't make time for the hate. Everybody can't be doing what you doing, you be great. I've been walking with this greatness, I just play it like it's great. I've been trying to make it through, ain't got no time for no break. Daddy told me just keep moving, don't make time for the hate. Everybody can't be doing what you doing, you be great. I've been walking with this greatness, I just play it like it's great.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cosas Buenas. Today I am here with the amazing Ronald Osborne. He is the reason this is even a thing, the reason I'm even here talking and recording myself on camera. He is a man of many talents, does a lot of different stuff, and we're going to dive into that today. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what you do.
Ronald Osborne, Gemini, 30 years old. I like walks on the beach. I'm just playing. But I'm the founder and creator of the Kickback. And for those that don't know what the Kickback is, it's a combination of many things, from a TV network, a music platform, and a online, shopping network marketplace. So we have our own news network. We have our own music platform for music artists, streamings, all different things like that, you know what I'm saying? So anything as far as small business, independent artists, or whatever it may be within that realm, we're the company for it. Yeah. And I'm the founder of it. So that's
How does that feel? How does it feel to say, like, I'm the founder of something? I'm just curious.
It feels good. It's like with all BS aside, it feels like accomplishment. Like, like sometimes like putting your name on something. Like, a lot of people tend to be in the background in life. Like, they either hide behind their job or hide behind, their kids or whatever. But to actually put your name on something and actually say, you know what, I did this, and no matter if it goes up or it falls, my name is on there,
Yeah.
Because, so many people hide. Like I said, so many people hide from things. So it feels great. It's an accomplishment, but also it's hard work, because now you're basically, it's like creating a whole nother child or something like that. So you're trying to, groom it and make sure it's right. And, you'll have it for 3 months and you want it to basically be able to cook, clean, walk, and do it something like a regular child. But really, come on, you only been doing it for 3 months, so you have to let it grow. So that's
a great point. I like the way you broke that down, comparing it to kids, because definitely, I feel like even when you have like amazing ideas and stuff, it just takes a lot of work to make that stuff happen, which we'll get into more in a little bit. But before we get into like the challenges and just the amazing things that entrepreneurship has brought you, have you always been like this? Did you grow up kind of being a little mini entrepreneur? Or what's the background?
Crazy part about it, like my grandfather, my mother, my father, my uncles, all entrepreneurs. So it's kind of like it was in our family to have everybody pretty much had like a business or a side hustle. So I grew up with that, but I also grew up always never like being put into a box, like I never like getting put into a box. I always wanted to solve issues. I was always that person to either put somebody on or solve this issue or be dependable. Like, that's my main trait, is I always want to be dependable. And so entrepreneurship to me kind of fell in my lap, as that's how my family is. Kind of like a person growing up into a sorority or a fraternity or something like that. It's like just part of their family.
Yeah.
So that's what it was for me. But then I also, what kind of pushed me, because, we all kind of grew up in, I have sisters, and they're entrepreneurs now, but it seemed like I kind of took over it. I said, I really want to do it when I was like in fifth, sixth grade. My thing for me was solving issues.
Okay.
I always felt like, okay, I can solve an issue. Okay, what I want to be? And it was something called a social entrepreneur. And that's what they're called, where you basically go around the world just solving issues, creating programs, platforms, different things like that.
Wow.
And you're not focused on the money. You're just focused on the growth and what kind of helps you. I'm sorry, I like to fiddle with things.
No, you're good. I'm the same way. I'll be down here like shaking my legs, so you're good.
So yeah, that's what it was. Entrepreneurship was in my family, and it was something that just, couldn't help but do.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you like knew what that even was as a kid, because I had no idea that was even an option. Well, I guess I knew what it was, but not with a whole title and everything on it. As an adult, how did the career begin? Like, were you already working for somebody when these ideas came to mind, or give us a story on that?
Well, okay, I can give you the story of how I started the Kickback, right?
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the Kickback actually started as when I basically went to school at Prairie View, the greatest school in the world. You know what I'm saying? When I went to PV,
Y'all go hard. Y'all go hard for your school.
I became a DJ, and so when I became a DJ, because I had a love for music, I became a DJ, and that's when my love for music crossed with my love for wanting to help people just instantly smashed together, and it just caused me to like kind of just build a radio station, different things like that. So as an adult, it was just like, okay, I always wanted to do something. Now I can do it and stuff like that. So it just started radio station. Then I took the radio station and said, hey, look, I want to support small businesses, and boom, just started doing things like that, reaching out to people, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I started school in 2013.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily put a name on it, so to say, until 2017.
Okay.
2017, 2016. That's when I basically kind of put a name on it. So the Kickback, it had many different names. It was like DJsnacks.com, which is my DJ name. The Kickback and Snacks, now it's the Kickback. So it's just kind of like, as an adult, it's just kind of like just basically saying, hey, I love this. Hey, I have a love for music. Hey, I do this. Put it together, give me a name, and basically now I have something that I love, rather than, it's not about working for somebody. I got mad because I already do that already. I work for somebody, man, I can make more money than you right now. Like, let me put my mind into it. Let me get up out of here. So,
let's talk about that real quick, though. How hard is it? So I'm in a place where I can't quit my full-time job yet, and it's probably not going to be like, it's probably going to be like that for a little minute. And I don't know what your situation is, but long story short, I feel like a lot of our audience are people who have a lot of dreams and a lot of things that they want to do, but yet they're also having to manage, the demands that real life comes with, like bills and jobs and stuff like that. So how do you get through the day? Because sometimes I be having a hard time at work, sitting there listening to somebody tell me what to do, when same like you just said, like, I know I could be doing something else outside of here, but this is just where I'm at right now. So how do you deal with that?
You know what's crazy is that you can't be immature with it. Okay. And that's what happened with me. I was immature with it. I'm like, man, I can make more than you. And what happens is you played it in your head, and you get to the point to where, you know what, I'm going to leave and I'm going to do this on my own. Because what happens when you start entrepreneurship, when you start that goal, when you start your TV show, when you started a podcast or whatever it may have you start looking at different, posts or people, and you're like, how they making that? How they doing that and stuff like that? I can do that. I'm better than them. Okay, cool. Maybe I just apply myself. And what happens is it's good to play it in your head, but what happens is if you're not mature enough to understand, like, hey, this job allows me to have a peace of mind to afford my equipment, like like if you basically just went full time with your TV show right now, you got to realize I got to feed myself on this TV show. I got to make sure. So certain things like your internet is more important than your food. If you think about that, because if I don't have internet to do a Zoom call,
it's over with,
or I can't upload something.
Right.
You see, so it's like what I did was I realized, okay, don't let social media play tricks on you. Like, if you won't let them play tricks on you when you go into a relationship, like, man, there's all these people getting cheated on, all these stories, but that's not my relationship, right? So it's like the same thing with your business. Like, take this job, basically put whatever, like $50 into it. And so that's what I did when I started. I said, okay, cool. These are my bills. Every month, it's like I pay myself to do my business. So it's like, here it is. This is my salary from my job, to say what I do with this money is it's like a person saying, I'm going to go get me a PlayStation. I'm going to go shopping, or I'm going to go get my hair done. I say, okay, here's $50. What am I going to do with it? boom, I can put it towards marketing. I can put it towards my station. I can, different things like that. So that's what I did. I said, this job helps me maintain my life for right now to be able to put money into my business. Because if you up and left, like I up and left, like people don't know that. Like I was making 40K a year working at Dart. I used to work at Dart, and I quit my job in the midst of all these different things happening. I think we met right before I quit. Yeah. And so what happened was I had concerts from South by Southwest. I've had, businesses where I'm actually making commercials. They're coming to my platform. We have TV shows galore, music galore, all these different things. I'm on a high. I got a team of like 10 of us. It was like 10 people. It was just like things was rolling. I did a retreat. Like I went and bought an Airbnb and had people from Austin, Dallas, all different across the world literally drive in, and I paid for the whole weekend, the food, everything. Like things was just moving. And and what happened was I said, you know what? I'm going to do this full time. I said that to myself starting January, and I played that stuff in my head for the next 2 months. Like I'm going to do this full time. Like I feel it. You get that feeling like this is going to take off. Yeah. Don't necessarily, no disrespect to be careful with that emotion, because what happens is we can tend to put ourselves in a fantasy world and be like, oh yeah, this is about to take off. Oh, I got a sale, or somebody's about to advertise for these shows. Boom, 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 boom. And you fail to realize, wait a minute. I can't even, do this full time because I don't have this stuff. Like, this ain't paid up 6 months in. Right. So what happened was I basically said I'm about to quit. So I put my 2 weeks notice in. Mind you, I got a son, I'm dealing with, everyday bills and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm about to hit it big. I just gotta basically, this is what I told myself. If I can do this from working from 6 to 10 every day, just imagine if I do this from 6 to 10 all day, 6 to 10 p.m. and go from like, no, what if 6 a.m. to 10? Maybe if I can do that, I can maximize. And so I did that, and I put my 2 weeks in. And this is when life started. People don't know this, but I quit my job 2 days prior before they shut Dallas down.
Oh, wow. Dang.
So when they what happened was I did a little side gig to be a marketing manager at a club and all these different things. All of us had, scheduled out events at South by Southwest in Austin. They shut Dallas down. Corona happened. Yeah. All those calls just trickled down. Yeah. And I didn't have nothing in the savings. A lot of the businesses failed. And so now I'm stuck in the house dealing with a pandemic that nobody understands. And so my case is kind of similar, but it shows you like, dang, maybe I wasn't ready because I didn't have nothing in savings. I had no plan to where like you have no contingency plan, So you got to have a contingency plan. Like, hey, just in case the first option don't work, what can I do? So I had to grind. All from March all the way until I like basically got another job. Yeah. Pick the stuff right back up.
That's rough. And I understand. I love how you said that. Well, not that I love how you said this. So looking at your situation, I had a situation very similar. A couple years ago, I had quit teaching and I was going to do makeup full time. Kind of same, like a pandemic didn't happen. I got pregnant. So it was a little bit different. But basically, I can totally relate in the sense that in hindsight, looking back, I can see all the ways that I set myself up to fail, basically. I can see all the places where I was maybe, like he just said, a little too overconfident. You get stuck in this fantasy, and that the ambitious feeling grows inside of you so much that it can take over. And like, it's great to feel confident, and it is great to feel like you got big things coming your way. But I think it's really important, and I think we both learned this, to keep a logical side of your brain going. Like we both have kids, we both are grown adults, we have to also take care of ourselves. Like sometimes as dreamers, our dreams can get so big that we forget about like the actual everyday stuff. And it's real life. Like it's real life. It happens. I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to go through like at all.
No, it wasn't. The thing is, if I would have to give a tip about that, is that when you ask me how does it feel to own something, when you think about it, even with your show, right? You're thinking so big picture,
Yeah.
you know, and you fail to realize the small picture sometimes. And so I realized that when I brought my team in, I said, hey, look, I'm a big picture person.
Yeah.
Big, you know, I can talk with people. People love the ideas. I'm an idea innovative person.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the small, it's hard to think day for day.
Yeah.
I think, you know, phase to phase. So that put me in a fantasy world of saying, oh, well, I could just do that. So just be careful. Be careful with yourself, because as an entrepreneur, you're going to think big no matter what you think.
Right.
Once you become an entrepreneur, you're not going to think small. You're not going to be like, you know, you're going to see this phone and you're like, well, I can create an app. No, you're going to be like, I can create a phone.
Literally.
And do that. And I connect it to a car and I can create something called Bluetooth. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking all different crazy stuff and you don't realize, wait, hold on. Where's the button going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. How are they going to get there? Small. Back when you were talking about you starting the Kickback in college and all of that, I was just curious, did you have any previous knowledge as far as like website design, like content creating? Nothing. So nothing at all. Wow. So how'd you go from that to what you do now? Like,
just experience, be honest with you. Like, I build all my websites. Like, I don't get nobody to build them. Build all my apps. I do everything from the ground. And, you know, there's been help, like, but 98%, 99% has been me just basically saying, okay, how do you do this? And I just basically look at it and I train myself. So when I started off, I just basically typed in a website, started playing with it, and boom. You know, I first started everything, like, of course, the DJing. I had learned how to DJ. Then from a DJ, it went from basically being on a radio station at college and going from a radio station to creating a podcast, from creating a podcast to basically just kind of being more offhands and creating a radio station. Then from the radio station, just kept going to the TV station and so forth.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, I kind of put myself through school in a way. No experience in anything. I never ran a radio station, a TV. Hell, ran my own business.
100% self-educated.
Self-educated, somewhat YouTube University.
Right.
You know, we kind of coded in MySpace. You know,
we really did. Not kind of. We did. Like, we straight up coded.
We did. So it's kind of like I felt that. I'm like, okay, cool. It's kind of like that, but none. I don't know. I don't even know how people be asking me that. Maybe that's my superpower.
Right, I know. If I could just do it. You just put me in front of it and just do it. Yeah, so I'm really big with our audience on just like advocating for yourself and taking initiative to educate yourself. You know, obviously everybody was brought up different. Some people have had opportunities to learn a lot. Other people have not. But I feel like now, this day and age, especially as an adult with a working cell phone or a working computer, vice versa, you can educate yourself on just about anything. So what was the importance of you taking that time to teach yourself all these things?
About that, you know what's crazy? Can I get back to that question?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You're good.
So since then to now, I realized like self-education is key in my phase of growing. So if some people are familiar with their high school schedule or their college schedule or some type of schedule, you can Google it. It's easy. All right. Sometimes everything is in front of you. You just got to know what to Google. You get what I'm saying? You got to know what you're looking for. So you kind of like re-engineer things. But what I realize now that I'm going to start doing is putting myself through YouTube University, like college. Like basically, okay, I want to learn this. I basically create like a platform where like I'll look at videos and say, put in 15 hours of this subject. So I put in 15 hours of learning that subject. So if it's coding, if it's management, project management, you know, something, engineering, I basically put myself, because all it is just like any college or school, somebody learns something, they pass it down.
Yeah.
What the hell is YouTube then? You know what I'm saying?
Basically, yeah.
Exactly. Somebody learns something, they pass it down. So back to your question. You said, what was your question? I just want to let everybody know, like, you can basically just take the time, and instead of looking at music videos, or if you can, I look at it like this: if you can binge watch your favorite show,
Yeah.
think about those 8 hours that you just did. Could you have binge watched and learned a new trade and be able to be better?
Yep.
So that is something I want people to know. If you really want it, it's like everybody want to win the lottery, but nobody wants to buy a ticket.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So for those that listen, like, ask yourself, for those 2-3 hours that I binge watch a TV show, what did I improve in life? Like, what, that I'm in the know for Twitter, for Facebook, you know?
Right.
But what was your question? I'm sorry, man. What was your
No,
question?
you're good. You're good. No, so that basically kind of answers part of it. I was just saying, what's the importance to you of taking that time to educate yourself? Like, how obviously that made a huge difference in your journey. So let's
Very
talk about that.
important. I learned how to maximize. I learned how. This is something that I don't really teach people, but I tell you because I like you.
Thank
You know what I'm saying? You've always been 100 since day one. So
Thank you.
we all are naturally procrastinators.
Yeah, definitely.
All we do is procrastinate, right?
Like, yeah.
How can you, but I learned how, and I studied it, to be a successful procrastinator. Now listen to this. So we all do things that we don't realize we do, but we end up doing it. When you wake up and you go to the bathroom, what is one thing that you carry with you?
Maybe my phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you get on your phone, you instantly go to a social media or something like that, all right? So it's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself, be like, I'm not going to jump on social media. You're not. You jump on it.
Right.
What I did was I realized, okay, two things happen. If I'm up early in the morning at 6-7 o'clock, I got to go pee, or, you know, some people do their morning ritual and
Right.
sit there, you know what I'm saying, for 30 some minutes, their legs go numb. What you do is, if I'm going to scroll through social media, let me slide in people's DM and tell them what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When they wake up, guess what they're going to do?
Go to the phone.
Yep. So
Gonna...
if you want to basically networking isn't about necessarily making a post. Sometimes it's like, hey, I see you got this TV show.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Ronald Osborne. I'm like, a copy and paste.
Yep.
A copy and paste. And so I'm on social media scrolling, but every time I come across somebody, slide their DM, go right back to it. It's being a successful procrastinator. And so that's when I learned, okay, I'm going to do this automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Why not be able to grow? And what happened was I was able to take that technique and grow from July last year. I started that Kickback Instagram from July to last year.
Mm-hmm.
In 1 year, with no hashtags, nothing, straight authentic people, 1,800 followers, easily.
Hey, just from you reaching out and speaking to people.
I think I got in contact with you that way.
This is true. This is true.
You know,
it was funny because I think I was already kind of working for you, and then you contacted me again through Instagram, and I was like, oh no, like I actually already do this and that, and you're like, oh hey, it's me. I was like, oh hey.
It's like, the fact is, like, I know, like, that people are like doing this whole Instagram, Facebook. I'm like, man, look, I wake up, I go to the restroom, I got my phone. First thing you do, I check my phone. I naturally wake up super early. So what I do, it got to the point where it's like, boom, like people are responding back because they're waking up at all these different times. When you go to your phone, you notice that your notifications pop up. Yeah. So if you get a notification from somebody liked your photo, you kind of like naturally like, oh, okay. You know, if it's not like a celebrity or something, but if it's like someone messaged you, and it's all about your first, 1-2 sentences. Mm-hmm. Don't be like, good morning, hey. Just be like, hey, I got something to tell you. You have to make it to where like, whoa, what is this? Slide. At least they seen it or something. It's better than you going to write and you can do that and do mass emails. Like if I was y'all, like, be a successful procrastinator. If you're going to binge watch something, you know what I'm saying? Binge watch it, you know, on your phone, right? So what I do is, like, if I binge watch it on my phone, I'm not scrolling through social media. I'm
Right.
not doing other stuff. I'm basically now I'm stuck like this on my computer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, I'm watching it, and there you go. So
That's a
it's
good technique. I like that.
you have to do things to force yourself out of that technique. Like, I tell people that, oh man, all I do is go out to eat. All I gotta do is go out to eat. I say, well, be successful at it. Well, how do you do that? I just go out to eat. I said, bro, start a thing to where you go and do a
Yes.
review. You do reviews.
Right.
I said, you have to be successful we all sin, I guess you want to say, just be successful at it,
Yeah.
All I do is gossip about people, write a blog.
Exactly. No, totally. Especially in these days where everybody wants to like do the same thing. Like right now, for a while, everybody was on a kick of, I want to do makeup. Now everybody's kind of on a kick where I want to be an influencer. Like, and these things change. Like right now we can just see it all because it's social media. So I love that. Like, yes, be authentic to yourself, figure out what you like, and then go from there. Something you mentioned was just helping others and stuff. And that was actually one of my questions anyways, because something that is really specific to me about Ron is that he's constantly providing opportunities to help others. And I don't need him to like sit and tell me all the ways he's doing this to know that. Like I see it, the websites he's created, the projects he's putting into place, literally what we just finished talking about. He is constantly not only setting himself up to win in life, but trying to bring others up to the top with him as well. Why? Tell us why. What makes you want to do that?
One, we deserve it, Two, it's like everyone has the ability to be successful.
Yeah.
You have the ability. I didn't say you are, but you have the ability.
Right.
But when you walk in that door, when you want to have people around you that's with you,
Yeah.
like when you want to have people that you've grown with walk in, like why would you want to walk in and meet new friends?
Right. Right.
I hate to be that way, but no, like I'd rather be with the people that saw me from the bottom, because if things fall, think about it. If things fall, you're not going to hold me. You know me from that level.
Literally.
You know me from there. So if I go anywhere below that level, if I'm sitting here, came across hard times, or I'm going through something, or I go through, an emotional, breakage,
right.
mental breakage, I can't depend on you. I can depend on people that's like saw me whenever I'm, hair nappy, just down and stuff like that. They be like, man, come on, Ron, come on up. I saw you at worst times.
Right.
Come on. And I help people because it's just, no matter how much like I've been hit and been kind of, kind of put on a back burner sometimes, it's just naturally just what I do.
Yeah.
It's my love. It's something that I love. I'll do that for free every day.
Yeah.
I'll provide you information. I'll provide you help, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be good. Like, I know that I'm going to be good, but I know that I'm going to be better with you. I'm going to be better with that other person, when these people that know, like, hey, Ron is really doing this. I had a young lady, real good friend of mine. I had called her to let her know about some new things were going to happen on Park Ave. Basically, she was like, you know what, Ron, I just want to thank you for always making sure that I'm good, my company is good. Like, you're the only one that calls me to check up on me as a friend and as a company, to make sure, like, hey, you need anything, or, putting me onto things or something like that. Not just like, sharing my post, but literally calling me to make sure you good. And she was like, yeah, man, that's love. I said, man, once you come in my life, you family, I just don't take it for granted, because people like myself are hard to find. So just basically, whenever I say, hey, look, let's get to it. Like, let's get to it. You BSing around, like, I know you more than that. So that's what it is. I love to see the growth in people. I love to see because, it's kind of like you get with somebody, you be like, man, I can see them. Like you get in a relationship.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got potential. It's kind of like that with friends. Like, oh, I can see that. Like when I called you about the show, I can see that. Boom. Yeah. Look at it now. Was I wrong?
No, you weren't. And like, man, y'all, he saw things I didn't even, yeah, I didn't even think of, and it kind of ties in with what I was about to say. One talent that I think Ron has is that he's able to spot the potential in somebody, and not only the potential for themselves, but the potential that he can even bring out on the team. So for example, obviously, you know, he's a very talented guy, really smart. He's taught himself a lot of stuff, but I think he's realized and understood the importance of a team and not having to do it all on his own. I'm sure if he wanted to figure out how to do whatever on whatever, he would, and he probably has. But because he sees potential and how to harness that potential in other people, I really believe that Ron's teams is always going to be one of the best ones, because he sees things and he plans strategically. And not only that, but all these people, they have good hearts because he has a good heart, so he's not going to mess with people like that. And I think that's awesome. People as talented as Ron, it's easy for them to get in their head, and it's fine. You know, you're all that. Like, you can remind yourself, like, that's cool. But I think it's really important to keep your eyes open to people other than yourself. And like you said, you got stuff in front of you. Sometimes you just don't know what you're looking at. So.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's beautiful to see growth in people. Hey, you know, it's beautiful. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It really is, especially when you came from the bottom with someone. And I love that you mentioned that one reason why you like to help people is because those are the people you want to see with you eating when you get to the top. So many people think that in order to get to the top or be successful, whatever they're trying to do, they have to step on toes along the way, cut off people who aren't like-minded. And like, that's just like, one, your life is going to get real boring because all the interesting people that were making it up, they're gone now. And two, like, the people at the top, they only know you for who you are at that moment. They don't know your soul. They don't know your heart. They don't know who you are when you're going through it. They don't know who you are when somebody needs help around you. So I love that mentality. I always say everybody can eat.
I tell people when I build like the Kickback, and it's like, I said, it's a family. They say, okay, well, I'm going to work for you. I say, well, you know, nobody can be on my team that's not doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was my root. That was my sole rule. Like, okay, cool, you can be on the team, but you got to have your own company.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, because the problem is that you wouldn't know what I'm going through unless you doing your own thing. And it's like,
now, you have any stake in the game other than your stake that you already put in when it's like
exactly.
that.
So it's like, now, like, we can work together. So it's like, and I tell people, the Kickback is a table, right? Yeah. So everybody always knows the whole saying, a seat at the table.
Yeah.
Well, when you go get a seat at the table on the table that we are familiar with,
right,
you have to step on toes. You have to stab people in the back. You have to do a little dance and, put on the good face and the good persona and all this, that, and the third to get a seat at the table. To maintain it, you got to, go a little further.
Yeah.
Well, I say, you know what? That table it may have marble, it may have, all the steak and shrimp and all different types of food you never seen and entertainment, and it looks fun. But then when you get there, you like, dang, I gotta continue this on in order to stay. What about, okay, I came in as a chef, but now I want to start my own show. No. You know what I'm saying? That sounds cool, but so what I tell them, I said, the Kickback is a table. The table may be rocky. The chairs may not fit well. You may not recognize the people across from you because they haven't made it yet. You may feel like, you're putting in more work than the other or something like that because of your social media status or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, we're building this table and it's going to be sturdy. And it may not, if you just don't look at what they're doing over there and just focus on this table, it's a place to where when I get up from it, I can put whoever I want at this seat. It's kind of like you take my show, you can take your show, put it on the Kickback and basically say, okay, when I leave this show, I can actually pass it down to someone and they can have a seat at the table here. And as simple as that. It doesn't work like that at the other table.
Yeah.
I think me helping people allows them to say, what can I do? So what can I really do? Like, what do I want to be known for? And that's what it comes down from.
Yes, so you hit the nail on the head with that. I don't know if you saw the Instagram video I posted last week, but it was a lot about just making your own table and Stop being so
Oh,
focused on
yeah.
getting to other people's tables. Literally, like, you have to watch it later because a lot of stuff you were saying, I'm like, bro, this confirmation. I was just literally just saying this stuff. And it's so true. So true. And not only that, but at the table that you helped create, you don't get to say that you helped create anything at the other table. Like, you just finally got there. That's about it. You didn't create very much. You took somebody else's spot, just like somebody's going to take yours.
Yep. It's kind of like you get a position and you going to do what you got to do just to keep it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You can't really speak up.
When if you did all this crazy stuff to even get there, it's like you just said, now you're going to have to maintain that. What are you really willing to do now to maintain that? And a lot of times that's where, because I feel like I've met a few people who have said, like, oh, it doesn't matter how much money I ever have. Like, it doesn't matter what I ever do. Like, I'm still going to be the same person. I'm still going to have the same morals. I'm still going to, and they believe it. Like, they're not trying to lie when they say it. But I'm a firm believer that you can't talk about experiences you have not been in at all, and stuff like that. It'll change you. When you start stepping on people over time, the first time it's going to be uncomfortable. Second time, a little less uncomfortable. By the fifth time, piece of cake. So even, once you get to the top and now it's time to maintain things that back in the day you would have never even considered participating in, now they're going to be options, and that's going to be what you have to do to keep your seat at the table. So for that reason, I would just rather make my own table because I like my rules.
Exactly. Make your own rules. You make your own table.
Literally, yes. And I don't know about you can probably relate to this with your son, but I just want to have something that not only that I can pass down to her, but just something that she can see, like, look, I can create whatever I want for myself. I don't have to be stuck into whatever boxes. It's like you said at the beginning, you don't like to put yourself in a box. I don't want my daughter to ever have to put herself in a box. So hopefully this will help that. You know
what's funny? When we graduated high school, they only gave us two choices: go to school or go to work.
Literally, yeah.
They never really told us that third avenue, which is entrepreneurship. And I think, people like me and you and, our generation, we're starting to show, like, entrepreneurship is that avenue that literally bridges the gap to where you don't have to necessarily go to school and get in debt, but you don't have to sit here and work for somebody for 30-some years in order to, you can basically work for 5 or 10, learn something on the side, through a trade, or, you could go to coursework or something like that. But still, at the end of the day, you can provide that avenue to where your kids can basically say, I have a third avenue, rather than go into debt, go to school, or going to work for somebody and trying to work your way up.
So I feel like we have covered some of the challenges that come along the way. We've talked about some positive stuff, but what have been the best parts about owning your business? Aside from the low lows, what are the high highs?
meeting some fantastic people. Like, oh my God, you run into people that are like-minded. You run into people that have the same goals, that don't have the same goals. You have people that are friendly arch enemies, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not hating on them, but you're like, oh yeah, I'm trying to beat you. I got my eye on you. You have that. You have ideas. You got people that you don't even know that you inspire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, dang, that, dude really, she really inspired. Y'all inspire each other. You get to the point to where you have, like, you have your work friends, you got your school friends, and you got your entrepreneur friends. And it's like, I hold that entrepreneur friends a lot more closer because I know that, that's conversations, that's, what is that else? You got, motivation, you got transactions, because those are the ones that call you. Hey, somebody needs a website. Hey, somebody needs to talk to you. Hey, somebody, and that can be just a little simple. So it's like if somebody say, hey, look, anybody do makeup? Who am I? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There you go. So it's meeting great people. It's, working towards something and you have no idea. It's so great. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is great. Don't let nobody lie to you. Create a business plan and clear vision. Look here, fam. By the time you finish that plan, life has moved by 6 months, and somehow you're sitting here. If you can't build it within a day or two, that plan is really that plan is for like structure.
Right.
Building the structure, but as far as like everything else, but it's just meeting people and like being able to help them out, being able for them to help me out, you know, and not feel alone. I don't feel alone on this journey. That's what it is.
Yes, I feel like being an entrepreneur, and I have never done it full time all the way, just did it for a little bit. And even then, I still don't feel like I'm fully considered one, but I feel like you guys you get each other's struggles, because this life is not for the weak. If the stuff I'm going through is just a glimpse of what it is to be a full-time entrepreneur, I already know, like, I'm going to, you know, your skin's got to be thick. Your mind has to be in the right place. At the end of the day, like, being an entrepreneur is not for the weak. It takes a different level of focus, takes a different level of drive. On that note, I think we're gonna kind of come to a stopping point. I just have to take the time to publicly thank Ron. I don't even know if I've told you thank you in private, but here we go. We're just gonna knock it out in both. But no, I just really wanted to thank you just for seeing something in me that I just didn't see in myself, and just for believing in me. You know, low-key, we're kind of strangers when we first linked up and started working together. I think we recognized something familiar in each other and trusted and kind of went off of that. And I just really, really, really appreciate you. Yeah, the stuff that I have in the works and the stuff that's happened wouldn't even have been a thought, to be honest, if I didn't met this man.
I really would like to thank you for just giving me that time to like really put that bug in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, you would talk to them and they're like, okay, whatever, you know? But you really put forth that effort, and now look at you, you know?
Cosas Buenas has just ignited something different in me, to where, like, right now, the only two things I'm focusing on are school and Cosas Buenas, and that's it. And it's just because, I worked on the last season, went cool, everything, a lot of learning experiences, had a lot of fun, but it just sparked something different in me where I was like, wait, I can do this, one, and two, like, I see where this can go. And I'm putting my energy into 10 things when really I just need to pick and choose and be picky with what my energy goes to right now. And again, I just never would have thought like this would have been something, but it's really pushed something different in me and brought something different out of me. Definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, but I'm loving the journey. So I can't wait to see where it goes.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see where it goes.
Good. So before we leave, Ron, can you tell us your socials, where to find you? I do know, so he does like IG lives and different little talks and stuff. I call them TED Talks because that's what I call the ones that I do.
I've been going
they're
in
not like official TED Talks, but they're good to listen to. Like, and he keeps it real always. So tell us where to find you.
You can find me at the Kickback, _KICBACK. You can find DJ Snacks on Instagram. You can find Melanews, MELANEWS. Those are all different. Oh, and ParkAv17, ParkAv17.com. I'm just naming a whole bunch of stuff because.
But they're all yours. That's lit.
Yeah, like
I'm naming a bunch of things I created. Sorry.
Another, 2 more apps dropping. For music artists and stuff like that. Radio station reopening up this Friday. Man, I'm gonna need like a little list. But you can just reach me if you can't get in touch with me. 214-695-9313. Boom. Cool. That's probably you text that number and you're gonna get me and everything like that, and I'll be able to take you to wherever you need to go, wherever outlet. Or you can just go to the Kickback, _KICBACK, and that'll take you to everything else too.
Make sure I'm going to list all his socials on here, and then I'll also put them in the bio down below. Check him out. Go follow. Learn some things. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me and Ron talk today. Learn something from him, and I will see you.
I've been trying to make it through, ain't got no time for no break. Daddy told me just keep moving, don't make time for the hate. Everybody can't be doing what you doing, you be great. I've been walking with his greatness, I just play it like it's great. I've been trying to make it through, ain't got no time for no break. Daddy told me just keep moving,